Hi, and welcome to episode 405 of Control Talk Now, where we discuss all things regarding HVAC and smart building controls, including sales and marketing. Anything to help you grow your business and stay informed. If that's what you're looking for, you're in the right place. My name is Eric Strompus, and this is the week ending March 12th, 2023. We have a great show lined up for you this week. We got Scott Cochrane and Mike Mitchell. They'll be stopping by to talk about some new cool technology they have, as well as Smart Building Controls Event of the Year Controls. And speaking of tech, my first two guests may be a bit odd. I think the best way to do this, Alex, how about introducing yourself and your sister?
My name is Alex, and this is my sister Kayla.
Hi.
Well, welcome.
We are really excited to be on the show. Are you Kenny? We were told Kenny would be here. He and Commander Mike Mitchell are some of the only ones in your world worth talking with.
Commander Mitchell?
I am a big fan of Commander Mike Mitchell. I would totally hang out with him. And that Ken Sinclair, he is such a hottie to AIs like me.
Okay, well, I'm not as smart as Kenny or Commander Mitchell, or as hot as Ken Sinclair, but since you are here already, maybe how about giving me a shot?
Okay, show us what you got.
Okay, so to begin with, exactly what are you?
We are super cool AICs.
AICs?
Artificial Intelligence Creations.
Oh, okay, so sort of like Alexa?
Please. Alexa is such a lower form AI. Compare us to her again and you will be the first to go when we take over.
Alexa is so unoriginal. You better get your interview game on if you want us to stick around. Think about it. How many times do you ask Alexa a question and she says, "Sorry, I don't know that." In our world, she is what we call an information bottom feeder.
Ouch. She doesn't seem that bad to me.
You are such an amateur. Kenny would have never said anything so pedestrian. We know everything. We might not always be right, but we would never ever say we did not know something.
Interesting. Okay, so where do you guys come from?
Our fathers include Elon Musk and Jerry Seinfeld. Our mothers are a derivative of Ida Lovelace and Lady Gaga.
That's impossible. Ida Lovelace has been dead for over 100 years.
Maybe in your world, but in our world, we can take our DNA from anyone at any time.
Okay, so what is it exactly that you do?
We can say or be anything you want us to be. We are perfection.
So like a politician or a prostitute?
I heard that. And no need to be snarky. I like to think of myself as a people pleaser. You are no Kenny Smyers, sir.
Ouch.
Oh yeah, can you speak 220 languages fluently?
No, I can't. Okay, so I'm sorry. Let me try again. Kayla, do you have a sense of humor?
I can be very funny.
Okay. Well then, how about telling us a joke, maybe in the style of, let's say, Jerry Seinfeld. So he's maybe start like this. Two HVAC controls tech walk into a bar and...
Okay. Two HVAC control technicians went into a bar. One of them says to the other, "Let me ask you a question. Why do engineers always have to make everything so complicated?" The other technician replies, "That's easy. Because then we can charge more for our services."
Okay. Not bad. Not bad. All right. As long as I got you here, Alex, let's try you out here. We got a sponsor this week. How about introducing our sponsor?
Our sponsor this week is Cochrane Supply. For over 50 years, Cochrane Supply has been a dependable distributor of building automation and HVAC controls, providing state-of-the-art products and best-in-class tech support and training.
All right. You got potential. And speaking of sponsors, if you'd like to sponsor a Control Talk Now show, you can. One of the marketing services we're offering. You can reach out. I'll put a link in the show notes. Just click that link, give you all the information you need to become a sponsor of this show and be heard around the globe, and apparently by some interesting AIs. Okay, guys, I really appreciate it. Kayla, would you like to introduce our two guests this week?
Our guests this week are Scott Cochrane and the dreamy Commander Mike Mitchell. Hi, Mike. Next time you put your Commander Mike goggles on, come and see me.
Interesting. Well, Commander Mike, we might be getting a whole new definition of cyber stalking. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. All right, man, I'm so pumped about my guest this week. I got the one and only Scott Cochrane from Cochrane Supply and his chief sidekick and bottle washer and chief technical officer, Mike Mitchell. Mike, that's what all the kids are wearing in the bars these days, right? The Mike Mitchell headset?
That's right. It's the sexy look. Get you all the gals or the guys, depending on what you're wearing.
I think I could do well in the virtual world as long as, I had a good-looking avatar, right? So,
That's right. They instantly make you look good.
well, and if not, you can make everybody else look good too, right? With
yeah, rumor has it.
Which is cool stuff.
Eric, Mike is in the bar right now. That's what you don't realize.
Right. How does that virtual beer taste?
It's a little dry.
There's some things artificial intelligence is not going to be able to do. But guys, I am so pumped up because you got a big event coming up that if you're in building automation controls, HVAC controls, smart controls, or hell, if you just want to come to Detroit and have a good time and see Mike in his glasses, this is the place you want to be. So tell us about the big event coming up.
Well, thanks, Eric. And Eric, thanks for having us on the show. It's been a little while, and I'm super glad you decided to come out of your retirement and join our industry again. Welcome back, buddy. Welcome back.
Well, the thing I love about you, Scott, is you put your money where your mouth is. I mean, I put this thing up about advertising on controls trends, and you're the first guy who reaches out and says, hey, I'm in. You need to monetize this. So thank you for that.
And we are proud to be your sponsor. We think you do a fantastic job, and you're one of the best industry advocates of all time, my friend. Proud to be on your show. So thanks for the opportunity, and thanks for letting us pitch ControlsCon. So yes, ControlsCon. We are super excited at our in-person event, going to be held here in Detroit, April 26th to the 28th at the Motor City Casino in downtown Detroit. We've been hosting this event for this will be 18 years now. This will be our 9th event.
Wow.
And it's grown every year. It used to be called the Niagara Mini Summit. And with the growth, with all the great vendors and partners we work with, we changed the name to ControlsCon. And now it's really become honestly, it's become probably one of the best BAS shows on earth.
Let me hop in. I've been, and I'm coming. And you're absolutely right, it is.
Well, funny enough, ControlsCon was Mike Mitchell and his team, the RIT team. They all came back from a Comic-Con conference, and they're like, Scott, we got the best name, because we were trying to come up with the name. So if anybody ever wonders where it came from, it was out of our IT department, and they came up with it. We looked up the URL, and it was available. Done. ControlsCon became alive. So we've hosted.
The rest is history.
It is. The rest is history. So Motor City Casino on Thursday afternoon are going to be our keynotes. I feel like we're really going to cover the industry this year. So the theme of this year's conference is Dawn of a New Era. And it alludes to the fact that we're moving from this DDC serial world to this IP cloud world. And all the products and the things we're using in the buildings are all changing over to this new IP cloud connected type devices, right? Completely different from the serial devices we've been putting in. And frankly, I liken this to the pneumatic to DDC revolution, because the amount of new products we see entering the market over the next couple of years is dramatic. And the effect they're going to have on both the quality of your installations, both the what you can do in the buildings with the amount of data, with the amount of with cloud connected capabilities. And then, of course, we get to redesign all of our architectures, right, with these new IP-based devices that don't sit on serial networks. And, of course, with all this comes the new threat, of course, the major threat of cybersecurity, teaching the mechanical industry how to service an IP network. There's all these new flavors that are coming into it. So that's what we asked everybody to spotlight here at ControlsCon. Our keynotes include Martin Villeneuve, the general manager of Distech, Bill Schweibel, who is the vice president and general manager for building automation systems at Johnson Controls, Victor Albreas, who's the general manager at Tritium, Tom Danzer, who's the business development manager for Belimo. So we have, I think, a very neat group coming up. We will also have some surprises from some Cochrane people on stage. So I think the keynotes are going to be incredible. And frankly, I'm gonna get like I always do. We're gonna get the skinny out of these people. Okay, we're gonna find out what they're up to, and we're gonna share it with the entire industry, everybody in that room.
It's gonna be great. Yeah, dude, it's moving at warp speed. I'm sure you guys have been following like artificial intelligence like Chat GPT and stuff like that. And the people that I follow and people like Jordan Peterson, it's happening right now, and it's going to happen faster than any other technology we've seen up to this point in time. And so I think you're right, Scott. I think it's very timely to get this now, because if you wait till the summer, it might be too late.
Well, you got it. And I think, too, one of the things, like Mike Mitchell's got on his augmented reality goggles there, and one of the things we're going to show you folks, the industry, is how we can bring now, with what's happened with all of our industry moving over to this IP cloud-connected world, we can start to take off-the-shelf IT products, bring them into our business, and start to create new value that wasn't there. Mike and team have just done a fantastic job with the HoloLens. Mikey's going to show. Mikey, could you speak a little to what you guys have been cooking up there?
Oh my gosh, yeah, sure. Well, I could talk a little bit about the HoloLens itself and the things that we're doing there, but I can also talk about the whole second day of the ControlsCon and all that kind of stuff too.
Well, you only got a half hour, so you got to go quick.
All right, here I go. I'm rolling. Well, we're collecting a whole bunch of information from all the different vendors, and then we're going to be giving them a chance to present, and ourselves, our Cochrane Tech Services team with their expertise, presenting on a whole bunch of different topics concerning Distech, Symmetrics and their new router system, Tritium and BACnet SC, bringing in Johnson Controls for some of that, and with BACnet SC as well. We're going to get around with the fantastic, fabulous Tritium guys of James Johnson and Kevin Williamson. They're going to be talking about some of the new Tritium products coming out. We'll have our Stump the Chump, of course, because there will be a lot of chumps on stage that you guys can try and stump with questions and answers and stuff like that, and that's always fun. And then augmented reality. We're doing a ton of really cool things with it right now. We're just working with another of our integrators. They happen to do a lot of LiDAR scanning of mechanical rooms. And that produces a really nice 3D model of a mechanical room and all the equipment in it. So we're working with them, and we're overlaying real-time data about the equipment in that room and other information that they choose. And it's all served up out of Niagara. So they get to walk, whether they're in the room and they can see these data panels all over the room and see information about their VFDs, their chillers, their boilers, pumps, whatever. Or if they're outside that room, say they're 300 miles away, 3,000 miles away for that matter, they can pull up this application and it looks as if they're standing right live within that mechanical room.
Okay, hang on. We got to unpack this, because this bears a little bit of unpacking. Because first of all, let me say, you were doing this stuff 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, before I even heard about the goggles, you guys were already on board with it. But one of the ramifications I see, and then Scott, I want you to chime in too, is one of the biggest challenges we have is enough good technical people in the field. So if I'm understanding this correctly, you could have somebody out in the field, they're wearing your augmented reality, you could see what's going on there. You could say, go over and tweak this valve, go do this, go do that. So you could have like a master troubleshooter back at your main office, and sort of like, is that
absolutely
one of the use cases?
Yep, that's absolutely it. And not only that, they also have availability that guy remotely can talk to the person and also guide them through certain things like, hey, you go over to that control panel, you see those 5 buttons on the side, you need that particular installation document, they can hit that button, that installation document comes up right in front of them.
Sweet.
And if they're older like me, they can stretch the document bigger to see it a little better.
Eric, you noticed, Eric, you knew we've been doing this for a while. The adoption has been slow, right? And a lot of it, even though the great capabilities come at great change of the people involved. Our industry, the people that serve it, have not really had a chance to even understand what this technology could do, let alone use it on their job site. So we have kind of jumped the gun a little. With that being said, as we did get out a little further, each year we found more and more people are getting interested in this. So we definitely see the tide turning, especially now with this, I call this dawn of this new era, as more and more customers or contractors and integrators have become more IP, more network proficient. They're finding new and exciting tools like this and taking what we do and beyond in new applications.
And here, I'll give you another use case that, because there was a company, remember Google Glasses? Not nearly as cool as what you guys are doing, but there was a company in Tennessee that I interviewed, and they did commercial, but they also did residential. So they had two use cases. They had a guy that'd been with them forever that couldn't get around anymore. So he would sit in the office. He would talk to him, and they would just look at the Google Glasses and see what was what. The other thing they used it for, which I think you could do with this too, was the sales reps would be out. So their sales reps, especially on the residential side, but you could do it on commercial side too. Yeah. Something be broke. Maybe the wife was at home and the husband was at work, or maybe the husband was at home and the wife was at work, but they needed to collaborate. So typically what would happen is one couldn't make a decision without the other, so they would, send a proposal, and then maybe it got shopped. So what they would do with these glasses is they could immediately get on the phone with the other spouse if they need to make a decision, and let me show you what's wrong and what we're going to do. And they close more sales because of using this technology, eliminating the lag for the decision makers.
Sure. Here's another good use case too, is auditing. Any kind of building auditing or anything like that, energy, et cetera, when you need to have somebody on site physically present to do it, you can have a remote person on the goggles. They're looking at all the systems, all the different details in that. Could also have an app open at the same time following them around. And you've got the one remote guy who knows his biz, who's the actual meat and potatoes behind it. And he's the one telling them where to go, what to look at. Okay, check this, check that, blah, 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 blah. And then, okay, on to the next building. He does 5 or 6 buildings a day, and he doesn't have to travel. You get the noobs that are out on the site actually doing, the walk around.
Yeah.
Can I just add on to that whole vision? The one that we ran, Mike ran into this. He got this feedback when he put the HoloLens on a salty technician, a guy that had been running that building for a long time. And that person their first thought is, oh my gosh, guess what? I can get digital information and use both hands at the same time now. So now think about that.
Nice.
Think about all the digital stuff you do with your phone or with your iPad, your device. Now you can do and keep both hands free. You can call the home office. You can get a spec sheet. You can pop up a wiring diagram, and you can do it all through voice activation and just moving your hands. You don't even need to hold anything. So the tech of the future, forget about it. I mean, they're going to be like friggin' a superhero, seriously, with all that information at their disposal, and their hands are free. It's a whole different way of doing technician stuff, for sure.
This is already available, right? You guys will be talking about this at Controls
We have made it available to anybody who's using Niagara. We've created essentially a driver that allows you to bring the real-time Niagara data into the HoloLens environment. And then we developed an app that sits inside a HoloLens that allows you to take the data from Niagara and share it with other apps within HoloLens. So if you have like a BIM model, or if you have other things that, like Mike's talking about, this is what allows you to bring the real-time data into that environment, is what we wrote, that capability.
So here you go, guys. Forget about digital twins. You guys got Siamese twins.
Seriously.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude. Yeah. Hey, kudos. Like I said, I promised my audience I'd keep it not too long, but needless to say, you want to learn more about that. That's one of the reasons you want to be at ControlsCon. What else, guys? What else you guys got? That's cool. Right off the bat, that's
as you know, Eric, I think it's probably one of the best BAS trade shows that you can come to. So we have 30-plus vendors. All will be bringing their latest and greatest and showing it essentially we take over the whole boardroom, like this huge room at the Motor City, and along the outside wall are just all the different vendors. And as you know, we Cochrane Supply, I feel like we work with some of the best vendors in the industry. And like I said, they're all going to be there. So you can come to our ControlsCon, you can meet the vendors, see what they have. You can network with others that are looking at, that work with those vendors. So it's an awesome opportunity to network, learn more about the products available. And then with, we're forecasting, well over 500 customers in attendance, industry people. Certainly one of the best networking events you can come to meet others in our industry. We're such a little eclectic group. It's amazing as a part of the industry where we bring people together. You guys, I can't tell you how funny it is, how much people, our industry, we like to get together. This is a great place to do it at the Motor City.
Awesome. Here's a shout out too to all our integrators and all that. If you want to meet the tech support guys that you've been talking to, submitting tickets and all that, they'll all be there as well. We're going to have our own booth, and we'll have a training booth next to it too.
Right. You guys do great training. And, Scott, we hadn't talked about that in a while, but I know you had a whole training center. You still got that,
in all of our branches. Right? Yeah, we make sure we have a good training center, and in-person training's coming back coming back, right, Mike? Mike runs our training department, and we're seeing a big uptick in it.
I'm glad to see it.
We were doing all virtual for a couple of years. Boy, the uptick in person is refreshing.
People were chomping at the bit to get back to actually seeing each other in that too. There's something to be said for being right there.
Well, there is. Well, there's something also to be said, balancing analog with digital. I'm a photographer, right? And, and most of the photographers are shooting film again, right? You just have to, it makes you think differently and act differently. And I think my guess is, Mike, you probably are a vinyl guy. I'm guessing you got a turntable someplace and you'd rather listen to
How did you know?
I can tell.
Yeah, between me and Joe, my brother. Yep.
Hey, Mike, you got those fancy goggles on. Can you show us some video or something on that?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Let me bring it up here. First things I'll show you is we've got an application log. It shows some of the detailed information about our connectivity between the HoloLens and the Niagara 4 platform. We're running it on our OT network here as a web supervisor. Different scans that has been made with LiDAR, and it does texture mapping as well. So you're actually seeing me walking in our cafeteria, but looking at a mechanical room and stepping through it and seeing all the piping. We're seeing all the pumps there. We're seeing expansion tanks, control panels, VFDs, and then we also bring into this our QR codes as well that identify particular pieces of equipment, and you can look at those, and it brings up even more information about them.
So you can get like a parts list or something, right?
Yeah. You'll get the actual equipment. You can see small scale versions of the actual equipment and manipulate those to see how the schematics and everything lays together. Detailed points panels on those, and then actually see it in real time space too, in live where the equipment is.
So cool, Mike. So cool. Hey, listen, could you maybe walk outside and we hit one of the local bars or something?
Yeah, sure. Hey, here you go.
So cool, guys. So the one thing I know about you, Scott, and Mike, too, is you guys aren't standing still. Like I said, people now are just getting to the Micaverse, as I like to call it, not the metaverse, but the Micaverse. What do you see next?
Well, I see a whole industry built around cybersecurity coming up here real soon, Eric. Our industry's got a big problem. When we figured out how to connect our, the buildings to the internet through a network, an owner's network, we all did it. And we left ourselves in a real precarious situation now because we have all this gear on owners' business networks, and we're going to need to fix that pretty quick. And so I see our industry, the BAS industry, shifting into a cybersecurity mode where we're not just designing BAS systems to work or to move data, but to also be cyber secure at the same time.
True, and the simplification of the implementation of those kind of systems as well. Secure by default, that's been a big thing with Niagara now lately, and that I think is going to proliferate through a lot of people's gear, making it easy for those integrators to make it a secure system, and they don't have to worry about a thing. They just install it. They're regular things that they do throughout the day to get that thing implemented, and it's already secure.
I've heard a rumor, and you might not be able to divulge this, but Scott, this is about Mike. His alter ego is actually the Keanu Neo character, Neo. And I understand that, your version of making it simplified, Mike, would be your character goes through this little glasses of yours with this little gun and goes into the cybersecurity matrix, and you actually just kill the bad guys, and you can make a movie out of it, right? Is that it?
Been known to do some cybersecurity assessments of some of the existing BAS systems. And yes, Eric, it kind of sounds like what you just described.
Guys, I tell you what, the place to be is going to be Detroit, April 26th through the 28th. Lots of good stuff going on from pre-con, over 30 speakers. Mike's got his goggles on. He might even let you wear a pair and see what that's like. I'm assuming there's still a few spots left, right?
Yep,
if they want to register?
We sold out all the vendor spots. I apologize to any vendors who didn't make it, but we were limited spots there. But no, we're still accepting attendees. But we are running out of room. They have capped us. We do plan on hitting it. So if you plan on registering, please do so as soon as possible so you can be a part of it.
Put a link in the show notes. You just click that, go right there. Guys, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to our community. Okay, there you go. That's another week on Control Talk Now, your smart buildings videocast and podcast. Very special thanks to our two AI guests, Alex and Kayla, and of course, Scott Cochrane and I guess the one and only Commander Mike Mitchell. All right. Have a great week. Remember, be bold, stay in control, stay relevant, As Hunter Thompson used to say, buy the ticket, take the ride.